Joining us as a moderator is someone who has over 1.5 decades of experience in the business of anchoring and political primetime shows, and has been part of all the leading news channels. He's currently anchoring our weekend investment show. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Mehraj Dubey, Deputy General Manager, Marketing, ABP Network. And also, may I please add, it is a matter of immense pride and privilege to call upon on stage our next guest for the evening. India's first and highest woman ranking officer who joined the IPS in 1972. She is an Asian tennis champion, winner of the Gallantry Award and Asia's Nobel Peace Award. Please join me in giving a resounding round of applause for former Lieutenant Governor Puducherry and ex-IPS officer Dr. Kiran Bedi.
So actually, ma'am, I'm meeting a brand, Kiran Bedi, today, and your brand is all about resilience, persistence, and you never stop making a difference. I think brand Kiran Bedi is so fearless. And what do you do? I mean, do you grow fearlessness at home, in your backyard, or what do you eat?
I don't know when I started with it, but I grew up with it. As simple as that. So I don't know when, from the age of 9, when I was playing tennis, cycling all by myself, teased by the boys, I hitting them back, coming back. So much of freedom and independence. I think it started from the very early years. So the credit goes to the kind of sense of freedom we girls, we daughters at home were being given. And I think I didn't know it was building a brand one day, but I think the fearlessness started from the age when I was competing, playing on my own, only boys, no girls playing, traveling with the boys, no girls traveling with me, landing up at the platforms at middle of the night in Allahabad, taking a rickshaw, not letting them know I'm a boy or a girl because I had very short hair. And I used to travel in tracksuits. That was a rule that when I'm traveling on my own, my parents were. So they left me, and I had never any jewelry, not even these little tops. So nobody would know whether there's a girl or a boy. That was necessary at that time to secure myself. So fearlessness came at that time. In fact, I realized I was doing things with the boys which boys couldn't do.
So it all starts early, huh? And then you also grew up to be brand ambassadors. After all your policing years, you were endorsing a washing powder or a vegetable brand or a face cream brand. How was that experience?
That experience was I was doing what Piyush is saying. I did my due diligence. Piyush, where are you? Piyush, I was doing due diligence. I was asked to speak up for a washing soap. And I said, no, first tell me, show me. I want to do it with my hands, that what you're saying is it right. And I did it. I was even flown overseas because I wanted to see where it's being done. And once I was satisfied, I stood for it. Otherwise, I wouldn't. So the brands I did. I think I did my due diligence. And so that people, when they hear me, they can trust me and saying, I've seen it myself.
Amazing. So you wanted to try all those brands first and then you endorse them. But what should all those advertising professionals do who are actually endorsing or working for those brands and they want to go and win the Bharat consumer? Any message for them? Because, I mean, of course, they know you as someone who connects very well with them. So maybe that's why Piyush or others wanted you for endorsing those brands. But like perhaps you added credibility to it. So credibility is one thing. And what else you think is needed to connect with that vast base of consumers?
Would you use it? Would you use it? I think the first thing is what you're promoting. Would you live with it? Would you use it? Are you speaking the truth? The key is, don't lie. Don't lie to the consumer. Over a period, it gets exposed. So never lie to the consumer because you must respect the consumer for whom you're investing. And the consumer is going to invest his or her money. So I think never lie. I think you need to be true to yourself and true to the product you promote. I think that is the basic. And number two, obviously the advertising company will only choose that person who relates with that product. If it's beauty, if it's courage, if it's patience, if it's nurturance, if it's leadership, they will link, as the word used is influencer. By the way, friends, I've been like an apprentice sitting here today in advertising world. I was learning so much of, and I loved it. But of course, by the end, I needed my cup of tea.
But you are a fierce communicator. And I'll also talk about leadership, but first about communication, because all of us are communications professionals in a way. What do you really think before you connect? And what do you think what we should communicate with masses when we go down? And you also write about this very interesting thing in your book that I was reading yesterday. You had 9 sources of connecting with common men in Pondicherry when you were governor there. 9 sources, as in, people could write a letter, they could write an email, social media, then they could visit her home, they could visit her office. And how did you really manage? When did you really work? I mean, all of us go down to markets and do our inciting. But when did you really work? I mean, this is so vast a number.
All through the workshop, it's been almost like a workshop for me.
Okay.
You've talked about feedback.
Yeah.
You've talked about needs of the consumer. So what are we all here for? You are in the business of selling a product. I was in the business of providing service. So my service is for a common man first. You see, the VIPs and the rich take care of themselves. They can buy out. They can buy and buy you out. But who really needs you is the common man for whom you are. So is your product. Because your whole base, billions, is the common man. And like very rightly said, tomorrow's future is your rural, where the major brands are not there. They will need you. So please be honest to them. So as a government servant, my product was service. I had to open all channels by which I could connect with the people. And therefore, I would walk the streets, I would bike the streets, I had my emails open, I had my WhatsApp open, I had my Lieutenant Governor's office open, I had all channels and the phone lines open. I did webcasting for everybody. I found the time for every constituency. So connecting with people through all possible means was very vital to provide the product of service called government service.
But Kiran ji, all of us want to do that. लेकिन हमें ये भी डर होता है कि हम कितना expose कर सकते हैं brands इतने सारे लोगों को. और I mean, I saw this creative that you were very magnanimous to have published in your own book, where someone made a great creative and they put her face with a Hitler moosh on it and saying that, she's challowing danda on Pondicherry. So how did you respond to that? Because not everybody was pleased. There were people who were opposing. Reputation was at stake. There's so many things to manage. And along with that, you have to deliver results as well.
See, it's simple. When I was opening up my government systems, opening up the Lieutenant Governor's office for an open house 2 or 3 hours a day to the visitors, it was not suiting people. It was not suiting certain vested interests. And when it hit their money bags, because I was actually hitting the money bags, monies which were getting diverted elsewhere, I was bringing it back to the common man to see that money is correctly spent for infrastructure, whereas the money was getting diverted. It was hitting them. So naturally they had to cartoon me. But it didn't matter, because the more they did, the more I realized it's hitting them. I hit them harder after that.
So you connected very well, and that's why I want to ask you about leadership. I mean, whether it was policing years or in politics, and then later governorship, and you write books, you have endorsed brands. What has really kept you going? I mean, did you question things? We had this theme coming up here, curiosity, questions, answers today. What kept you going? Was it curiosity or was it fearlessness that you just kept asking questions or questioned the status?
Nothing. Simple consistency of habits. I think when I was small, I was forming habits. As I grew up, habits formed me. So I am traveling here even when I could go into more of comfortable living. But I continue to daily challenge myself. I seek out what more can I do. And certainly for my Bharat, I'm a very strong patriot. And therefore, I had options as a youngster getting scholarships overseas. But I declined them. I stood for the Indian Police Service. I wanted to stay back because I'm a very strong Indian. I love my country, I love my roots, I love my culture, I love my Indian police service. I love the governance. So I think that's what keeps me going every day. I do challenge, I do have a plan for the day. I have a plan for the month, I have a plan for the year, I have a target for the day. So and I do I think my strength comes from the morning, the way I start my morning. I set my foundation by fitness, by personal reflection, by time to myself, and I have a plan for the day. So there's enough energy.
So आपने leadership, अब हम लोग सब जाना चाहते हैं, masses से, roots से connect होना चाहते हैं. We want to all make our brands larger with this audience. But leadership चाहिए, और leadership आपको क्या लगता है, डंडे से चलती है या हाथ जोड़ के चलती है?
Leadership बाहर नहीं है. Leadership हम समझते एक्सटर्नल है. अरे you begin with yourself. अगर आप अंदर में अपने आप को लीड नहीं कर पा रहे और अपनी सही सोच नहीं कर पा रहे, सही कर नहीं पा रहे, सही दूसरे के काम नहीं आ पा रहे, कर्म योग नहीं बन रहे, तो दूसरों को क्या सिखाओगे? वो भी गलत हो जाएगा, क्योंकि उसके बाद आपकी हवा खुल जाएगी. लेकिन लीडर तब है जब आप क्रेडिबिलिटी, आप अपनी, यू लिव व्हाट यू से, एंड देन you are having followers without asking for followers. You don't ask for followers, but the people start following you because they want to learn from you. You are impacting them, you are influencing them, but by the right, and it's sustained. So I think the leadership is not outside. We must become leaders first for our own selves within. And to be leaders within, start your morning carefully, how you plan your morning.
No, I appreciate setting examples and not lying, like you said before, कि झूठ नहीं बोलना है, और examples
नहीं, झूठ की बात नहीं मैं बोल रही, मैं फिटनेस की बोल रही हूँ, योगा की बोल रही हूँ, मेडिटेशन की बात कर रही हूँ, मैं वो बात कर रही हूँ, सही खाने पीने की भी बोल रही हूँ.
लेकिन हमारा जो भारत का कंज्यूमर है, किरण जी, बहुत hungry है, and they want us to be very accountable. What's the best way to deal with them? They are very hungry, and they are switching brands every day, and their choices are changing, and it's a rapid thing happening there.
तो आप भी सड़क पे चलो, मार्केट देखो, दुकान में जाओ, सर्वेज करो, करते रहो. जब तक आप वो नहीं करेंगे, आप पहचानो, जानो, सुनो, सारे दरवाजे खुलो, और आप भी तो खुद कंज्यूमर हो. आपको नहीं पता चला कौन सी चीज ठीक है कि नहीं. आपकी फैमिली भी कंज्यूमर है, आपकी फ्रेंड्स भी कंज्यूमर है, आपकी सत्संग भी कंज्यूमर है. सड़कों पे चलो, और अब भेस बदल के चलो. अगर आप पहचाने जाते हो तो भेस बदल के चलो. जब तक आप सड़कों पे नहीं चलोगे, दुकानदार से पूछो उनकी जो आपका सामान बेचता है कि क्या बिक रहा है, कौन सा क्यों बिक रहा है, कौन सा ज्यादा महंगा है, या किस में कहाँ डिफेक्ट है, उससे पूछो ना. आई थिंक दैट्स योर रियल सोर्स ऑफ इन. सो जो भी कंज्यूमर ये जानता जाएगा वो जरूर आगे रहेगा. दिस इज व्हाट गवर्नेंस वाज. This is what I was doing, checking out with my people what was working and what was not working. My open house. See, you had a product. I had my product was my service. So I had to constantly feedback and check what's working. When I did my 101s, आपको मैं दुकानदार के लिए बोल रही हूँ, मैं अपने हर ऑफिसर के साथ रोज सुबह 9 बजे एक घंटा बैठ के बात करती थी 1-to-1, ताकि पता चलूं वो क्या सोच रहा है, वो उसको कौन सा कैसी चीज़ है उसका काम बेटर हो सकता है, कौन सी चीज़ मैं उसको दूं एज ए लीडर. सो आई थिंक दीज प्रिंसिपल्स आर द सेम. ग्रास रूट फंक्शनिंग, फील्ड विजिट्स, फील्ड सर्विस, कॉमन कॉन्टैक्ट, and then analyzing and doing surveys is very, very important.
So lots of lessons for all of us, and I have a few questions which I expect you to answer very quickly. In the book you talk about T mantra, because people talk about success mantra, social media mantra, money mantra, and you talk about T mantra. What is that? Quickly.
T mantra stands for trust.
Okay.
If you're a leader, follow the T mantra. First is trustworthiness. Second is empower people. Empower your employees, empower people, empower the customer, empower the seller. So you have a bid. I had my service people and I had people. You have sales people. Empower your. So second was empowerment. A is accountability. How accountable you are for what you say.
Amazing.
And the decisions you take.
Trust, empowerment, and accountability. That's our T mantra. And all of us are trying to be under 5 a.m. club now after reading all those books. And you write in the book saying, मैं 4 बजे उठ जाती हूँ. 4 a.m. Why do you wake up at 4 a.m.?
I don't go at 4 a.m. It is wrongly written 6 a.m.
Acha. Right.
6 a.m. उठो, मतलब उठो.
So I think you talked about some anecdote in the book, and anyways, at Goafest also we don't go to bed until 4 a.m. then.
You're right. When I was in LG, I was getting up at 4 o'clock because I needed to meditate, to align myself.
Okay, so
and
that's what you
believe me, it worked. It was a really an inner voice, which truly was with me to steer me through and give me great ideas.
Clearly
Then
that
it was 4 a.m.
No, that's why the energy you were showing when you were on the chair and taking the video. You talked about Rajnikant declining your offer to become brand ambassador. What was that?
सी प्रधानमंत्री की स्वच्छ भारत की जो मूवमेंट थी बहुत ज़रूरी थी क्योंकि सी फ्रेंड्स इफ़ यू रिमेंबर अगर स्वच्छ भारत आज टॉयलेट्स लोगों के घरों में ना होते कोविड में क्या होता इनफैक्ट कोविड ने मेंट गुड हेल्थ तो हम बच गए क्योंकि वो जो मूवमेंट थी जस्ट केम बिफोर द कोविड स्टार्टेड एंड आई वांटेड फास्ट फॉरवर्डिंग के टॉयलेट जल्दी बने गवर्नमेंट बड़ी सपोर्ट भी कर रही थी लेकिन मैं फास्ट फॉरवर्ड करना चाहती थी टॉयलेट्स मेकिंग की तो मैंने रजनीकांत जी को मतलब मैसेज भेजा कैन यू बी माय ब्रांड एम्बेसडर कम एंड स्पीक अप लोगों को बोलो अपनी तमिल में कि जल्दी बनाओ अपने अपने घर बट ही वाज टू बिजी
but I think people still responded and I think you had great success. In fact, during her tenure, Pondicherry's water table grew up to by 7 meters. I think that was a huge success in today's era when water consumption is at a new high.
मेरी आपको रिक्वेस्ट ये है कि ऐसे सोशल कॉजेज में you can look at good companies, link them with some causes. In fact, you would be the best persons to link them with centrally sponsored schemes of the government. क्योंकि गवर्नमेंट की स्कीम्स एडवर्टाइज करेक्टली नहीं होती पहुंचती नहीं है ठीक से अगर आप हर कंपनी बड़ी जो वेल्दी कंपनीज हैं अगर वो अफोर्डिंग कर सकती या यू हैव द हार्ट एट द राइट प्लेस पिक अप वन छोटा कॉज वन बिग कॉज इमेजिन यू आर 170 टुडे you can all have 170 causes you can promote small or big and help the government come up on the radio you can come up on television and sponsor it because we need to share with the youth of this country what are the wonderful schemes the government has today but they don't know why because they're not advertised or they're not publicized they're not informed but if we are companies while we earn very well and we create pick up these little interesting jingles of 10 seconds each, even 10-second jingles or 10-second visuals, or put it on the social media and sponsored by this. It will be a great national cause, my friends, you will be serving.
Definitely. So many hard-earned lessons and for us, easily to use. Thank you so much for bringing all that energy and your wisdom to this. And what's your next book? What's the title of the next book? Are you writing one more?
Well, you're inspiring it.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. That's Kiran Bedi. And I would want to end with a couplet, Kiranji, because we are also ending sessions of the day. कि खुदा का शुक्र है दिन दिखाया शादमानी का करम फरमाइए गुस्ताखों मेहरबानी का बिलाशक आपको तकलीफ तो हुई होगी आने जाने में बिलाशक तकलीफ तो हुई होगी आपको आने जाने में मगर इज्जत हमारी बढ़ गई आपके तशरीफ लाने में मगर थैंक यू सो मच
आपने एक चेक के बारे बोला था मैं प्रिजनर्स के बच्चों को पढ़ाती हूँ मेरी संस्था है इंडिया विजन फाउंडेशन क्या वो चेक अवेलेबल है अभी भी
टेम्पेस्ट फाउंडर
मैं प्रिजनर्स के बच्चों को पढ़ाती हूँ आपके नाम से उस बच्चे को स्कॉलरशिप दी जा सकती है को वो है कि चेक कौन
So we'll definitely find that friend and winner from Tempest.
For sure.
I think from our friend from Hyderabad.
We can dedicate that to the skills development of prisoners.
So that you have Kiran Bedi never stopping for the cause. She didn't think before asking for that donation. Thank you so much, madam. Thank you.